Ladies and gentlemen, silence is a force. It is not merely the absence of words, but the presence of wisdom. In a world that thrives on noise, distraction, and constant chatter, silence has become a forgotten art. But let me remind you, those who know how to be silent often find themselves receiving what others chase after. When you are silent, you are not inactive. You are observing. You are calculating. You are aligning yourself with the rhythm of life itself. The greatest lessons are never spoken. They are experienced. Have you ever noticed that the most powerful people in the room are not the loudest? They are the ones who speak with measured words, with authority, and only when necessary. Nature itself teaches us the power of silence. The sun does not announce its rising, yet it illuminates the earth. The rain does not need permission to fall, yet it nourishes all living things. The tree does not shout about its growth, yet it stands firm and provides shelter. Everything in creation understands that true power does not need to announce itself. It simply is. There are moments in life when you must learn to be still and watch. The opportunities you seek, the answers you long for, and the wisdom you need will come to you if you remain patient and silent. Silence is not ignorance, it is intelligence in motion. When you choose to stay silent, you allow people to reveal who they truly are. You gain insight into their intentions. You learn what to say, when to say it, and most importantly, when to say nothing at all. Many people speak because they fear silence. They believe that if they are not constantly expressing themselves, they will be forgotten. But understand this: true influence is never about how much you say. It's about the impact of what you do say. And often, the most powerful statements are made without a single word. Some of the greatest breakthroughs in life will come when you stop pushing, stop forcing, and simply let things flow toward you. What is meant for you will find you, not because you chase it, but because you have positioned yourself to receive it. So I urge you today, master the art of silence. Watch before you act, listen before you speak, observe before you decide. And I promise you, everything you need will come to you naturally. Silence is not just the absence of speech. It is a calculated decision, a deliberate act of wisdom. It is a strategy that, when mastered, positions you for influence, understanding, and success. Too many people believe that to be noticed, they must constantly speak, express opinions, and make noise. But in reality, the most powerful individuals are those who know when to be silent, when to observe, and when to let their presence speak louder than their words. Silence gives you control over situations. When you withhold unnecessary words, you gain the advantage of understanding what others reveal. People expose their intentions, their knowledge, and sometimes their weaknesses simply because they feel the need to fill the silence. But when you remain still, listening intently, you gather information that others overlook. Silence allows you to study the atmosphere, discern the motives of those around you, and respond with wisdom rather than impulse. History proves that silence is a weapon in the hands of those who use it wisely. Great leaders, negotiators, and visionaries have all understood that silence forces the other party to reveal themselves. When you do not react immediately, when you do not rush to answer, you create an atmosphere of expectation. People begin to wonder what you are thinking, what you know that they don't. That mystery alone gives you leverage. Silence is also a tool for personal growth. In the moments when you are quiet, you create space for reflection, clarity, and wisdom to emerge. Words spoken in haste can lead to regret. But silence allows you to measure your response. When you discipline yourself to stay silent, you train your mind to process before reacting. This practice strengthens your ability to remain calm under pressure, make wise decisions, and navigate situations with a level of precision that others lack. In conversation, silence can shift the balance of power. The one who speaks the least often controls the direction of the discussion. Silence forces others to think deeply, to second guess, and to reconsider. When you remain silent, you are not absent, you are in control. You are allowing the moment to unfold in your favor. Those who fail to see the power of silence often find themselves trapped by their own words. They reveal too much, commit too soon, and weaken their position because they do not realize that sometimes the best move is no move at all. But those who understand that silence is a strategy know that there is strength in restraint. They know that sometimes, by saying nothing, observation is a skill that separates the wise from the impulsive, the prepared from the unprepared, and the influential from the overlooked. It is not simply about seeing with your eyes, but perceiving with understanding. Many people look, but few truly observe. They are too distracted by their own need to speak, to be noticed, to react. And in doing so, they miss the subtle details that reveal truth, opportunity, and danger. When you train yourself to be an observer, you gain an advantage over those who rush into action without understanding their environment. You begin to notice patterns, behaviors, and unspoken messages that others overlook. People often say more with their actions than with their words, but only those who are watching closely will recognize the difference between what is said and what is meant. Every great leader, strategist, and decision maker throughout history has mastered the art of observation. Before they moved, they watched. Before they spoke, they listened. Before they made decisions, they gathered insight. This is not passivity. It is precision. Observation gives you the ability to see what others miss, to hear what is not being said, and to position yourself correctly before making a move. Observation is the foundation of wisdom. It allows you to learn from experiences, both your own and those of others, without making unnecessary mistakes. When you observe carefully, you begin to see the cause and effect patterns in life. You recognize what leads to success and what leads to failure. You become aware of how people think, how they react, and what truly drives them. This knowledge gives you the ability to navigate relationships, business, and life with clarity and confidence. In any setting, the person who observes holds the greatest power. They are the ones who understand the dynamics of a conversation before speaking. They recognize who holds influence in a room without needing to ask. They can anticipate what will happen next because they have already seen the signs unfolding. While others are distracted by their need to be heard, the observer is collecting the wisdom that will allow them to move with accuracy when the time is right. Observation also builds patience. It teaches you not to react emotionally, but to respond intelligently. It gives you the ability to discern the right moment to speak, the right time to act, and the right people to trust. The more you observe, the more you understand. The more you understand, the more effective you become in every area of life. Authority is not always expressed in words. Often it is most powerfully communicated in silence. True authority does not need to announce itself. It is felt. The presence of a person who understands the weight of silence carries more impact than the noise of someone trying to prove themselves. When you master silence, you command attention without demanding it. People naturally respect those who do not feel the need to constantly explain, justify, or prove their worth. The less you say, the more people wonder about what you know. The more you hold back unnecessary words, the more weight your words carry when you finally choose to speak. Authority is not found in speaking often, it is found in speaking wisely. Those who talk excessively dilute their influence, but those who choose their words carefully ensure that when they do speak, people listen. Silence also creates presence. The most respected leaders and figures in history were not those who reacted to everything or spoke at every opportunity, but those who knew when to remain silent. They understood that by saying little, they created an atmosphere of depth and certainty. In negotiations, discussions, and leadership, silence makes others uneasy because it forces them to fill the gap. In that space, they often reveal their thoughts, intentions, and even insecurities, giving the silent one an advantage. A person who is always talking often gives away their position, their emotions, and their power. But a person who masters silence maintains control. They are not easily provoked, they are not swayed by pressure, and they do not react impulsively. This is why the greatest leaders, negotiators, and decision makers are those who have learned the strength of stillness. Their authority is not in their volume, but in their restraint. People trust those who do not speak carelessly. When you are known for measured words, your speech becomes valuable. Others begin to wait for your opinion rather than dismiss it. Your silence creates anticipation, and when you do speak, your words are taken seriously. This is the essence of true authority, having the ability to influence without needing to force it. Listening is one of the most underestimated yet powerful tools of influence. Most people listen to respond, not to understand. They hear words, but they do not absorb meaning. They wait for their turn to speak instead of grasping the depth of what is being said. But those who master the art of listening gain knowledge, wisdom, and control in ways that speaking alone could never achieve. When you listen more than you speak, you gather information that others freely give away. People reveal their fears, their desires, their weaknesses, and their true intentions when they talk. If you pay close attention, you will always know more than those who cannot resist the urge to fill the silence. The person who listens carefully has an advantage in every situation because they understand before they react. Listening builds trust and influence. People are naturally drawn to those who make them feel heard. When you truly listen, you give others a sense of value, and in return, they respect and trust you. Leaders who listen earn loyalty. Business people who listen close the best deals. Those who listen in relationships build deeper connections. The ability to listen is not just a skill, it is a strategy that elevates your presence and impact. Speaking too quickly often leads to regret. Words spoken in haste cannot be taken back. But when you listen first, you give yourself time to think, to weigh your words, and to respond with wisdom. Listening allows you to detect not only what is being said, but also what is left unsaid. You notice tone, emotion, hesitation, details that reveal more than words alone. This awareness helps you navigate conversations with precision, ensuring that when you do speak, your words carry meaning and power. The greatest minds throughout history have been those who listened before they acted. They gathered knowledge, studied human nature, and spoke only when necessary. Their words were not wasted. And because they listened first, they always knew exactly what to say. To speak without listening is to move without direction, but to listen before speaking is to ensure that every word serves a purpose. The law of natural attraction operates in silence, patience, and alignment. It is the principle that what is meant for you will find you, not because you chase it desperately, but because you position yourself to receive it. Just as the sun does not beg for the planets to orbit around it, but instead emits a gravitational pull that naturally draws them in, so too does a person who understands their value attract the right opportunities, people, and circumstances by simply becoming who they are meant to be. Many people exhaust themselves trying to force outcomes, manipulate situations, or demand attention, but true attraction is never about force. It is about presence. When you refine your character, cultivate your gifts, and operate in purpose, what aligns with you will be drawn to you effortlessly. The things that belong in your life do not need to be chased. They need to be prepared for. The stronger your sense of identity, the clearer your direction, and the more disciplined your actions, the more life responds to you in kind. Nature itself is built on this law. The flower does not run after the bee. It simply blooms and the bee comes. The ocean does not chase the rivers. They flow to it naturally. The same principle applies to life. When you focus on becoming rather than pursuing, what is meant for you will seek you out. This is why stillness, patience, and faith are critical. Many fail to attract what they desire because they're too busy running in all directions, exhausting their energy on things that do not align with their purpose. But those who understand the law of natural attraction trust the process. They do not rush, they do not beg, and they do not compromise their value. Instead, they stand firm, knowing that everything meant for them will come, not because they forced it, but because they were prepared to receive it. Timing determines the success or failure of every decision, every action, and every opportunity in life. It is not just about what you do, but when you do it. A move made too soon can lead to loss, just as a move made too late can mean a missed opportunity. The wisest people are not those who rush ahead in excitement or hesitate in fear, but those who have learned to recognize the perfect moment to act. Every season in life has its purpose. There's a time for silence and a time for speaking, a time for preparation and a time for execution, a time for waiting and a time for stepping forward. Those who understand timing know that patience is not inactivity, it is positioning. It is the ability to hold back when necessary and move with precision when the moment arrives. The right thing at the wrong time can become the wrong thing, but the right thing at the right time will always yield results. Great leaders, successful entrepreneurs, and influential individuals all understand that mastering timing is the key to sustainable success. They observe before they act, they study patterns before they commit, and they move with certainty rather than impulse. In relationships, in business, and in personal growth, knowing when to wait and when to act is the difference between building something lasting and watching it fall apart. The impatient often waste their strength, pushing against doors that are not yet meant to open. They try to force what is not ready, and in doing so, they delay what could have come naturally. But those who respect timing understand that waiting is not wasting, it is preparing. The greatest rewards in life come to those who are willing to trust the process, remain steady in the waiting, and act boldly when the time is right. Silence is one of the most underestimated yet powerful forces in life. It carries an unseen strength that influences outcomes, shapes perceptions, and determines the direction of conversations and relationships. Many believe power is found in speaking, in making one's voice heard at every opportunity, but true power often lies in knowing when to remain silent. The ability to withhold words, to control speech, and to allow silence to work in your favor is a skill that separates the wise from the impulsive. In silence, there is control. When you do not immediately react, you maintain authority over your emotions and decisions. You do not give away your thoughts too soon, nor do you allow others to manipulate you with their words. Those who cannot resist the urge to fill every quiet moment with speech often reveal too much, commit too soon, and lose their advantage. But those who understand the hidden power of silence know that sometimes the best response is none at all. Silence also forces others to reveal themselves. In negotiations, the one who speaks the least often holds the most power. In arguments, the one who remains calm and composed unsettles their opponent. When you refuse to react to provocation, you show that you are not easily moved, that your emotions are not in control of you, but rather you are in control of them. This kind of restraint commands respect and, more often than not, shifts the balance of power in your favor. Beyond influence, silence is a tool for personal growth. It allows space for reflection, for understanding, and for deep insight. In a world filled with noise and distractions, the ability to be silent, to sit with your thoughts and to listen rather than always speaking is rare but invaluable. It is in the quiet moments that the greatest ideas are formed, that clarity is gained, and that wisdom is strengthened. Those who have mastered silence understand that it is not emptiness, it is presence. It is not weakness, it is strength. It is not passivity, it is control. When used wisely, silence speaks louder than words, demands attention without force, and carries an influence that cannot be ignored. Nature operates in silence, yet it commands the greatest influence. The most powerful forces, the rising of the sun, the growth of trees, the flow of rivers, happen without a single sound. The seasons change without announcement. The earth rotates without permission, and the flowers bloom without noise. Nature does not rush, does not force, and does not seek attention. Yet it accomplishes everything in perfect time. It teaches a profound lesson. True strength does not need to be loud, and real progress does not always require noise. A seed buried in the ground does not complain, does not cry out for attention. It simply remains still, allowing the process of growth to unfold naturally. The roots go deep before the branches rise high, and before the world even sees the tree, its foundation is being established in silence. Many people struggle with waiting, with being still, with allowing things to take their natural course. But nature reveals that silence is not inactivity, it is preparation. What is meant to flourish must first develop unseen, in stillness, before it is revealed in strength. The ocean, vast and powerful, does not need to announce its depth. It moves with quiet authority, shaping landscapes, guiding ships, and sustaining life. The wind, though invisible, can change the direction of an entire forest without a word. The most powerful elements in creation do not need to prove themselves with noise. They are simply undeniable in their presence. Those who understand this principle in life learn to move with confidence without needing validation or constant expression. Silence in nature is also a sign of balance and restoration. The deepest moments of healing happen in stillness. The night brings renewal to the earth, giving life the rest it needs to flourish in the morning. The winter, though seemingly lifeless, is the season where strength is built beneath the surface. In the same way, silence in our own lives is not a sign of stagnation, but of something greater taking place beneath the surface. Nature thrives in silence, and so do those who learn from it. Those who embrace quietness, who understand the importance of stillness, and who allow time to work in their favor will always emerge stronger, wiser, and more unshakable than those who constantly seek attention and movement. True power is never found in noise, but in the quiet confidence of knowing that everything is unfolding as it should. Silence is the gateway to clarity, a space where the mind finds order in the midst of chaos. In a world filled with constant noise, distractions, and demands for attention, the ability to embrace silence becomes a rare but essential discipline. The mind, like still water, reflects most clearly when undisturbed, but when surrounded by excessive noise, both external and internal, it becomes clouded, restless, and unable to process thoughts with precision. When silence is practiced, it creates a mental environment where thoughts can be examined without pressure. It allows emotions to settle, ideas to take shape, and solutions to emerge naturally. Many of the greatest breakthroughs, whether in leadership, creativity, or personal development, have come not in the midst of noise, but in moments of deep silence. It is in those quiet spaces that wisdom surfaces, where the mind can connect patterns and where true insight is gained. Noise forces reaction, but silence allows reflection. People who do not cultivate moments of stillness often find themselves overwhelmed, making rushed decisions, or struggling to see beyond immediate circumstances. But those who regularly embrace silence develop a sharper awareness of themselves and their surroundings. They become more intentional in their choices, more measured in their responses, and more capable of seeing things as they truly are, rather than through the lens of distraction. Silence also strengthens focus. When the mind is free from unnecessary noise, it can channel energy into what truly matters. Creativity flows more freely. Problem solving becomes more effective, and a deeper sense of peace takes root. Many people seek clarity through external sources, constant conversations, endless information, or the opinions of others, without realizing that the clearest answers often arise when everything else is stripped away. A mind that is trained in silence is a mind that is unshaken. It does not react impulsively. It does not become lost in confusion, and it does not rely on external validation to find direction. Instead, it operates with precision, knowing that true clarity is not found in noise, but in the power of stillness. Silence is the foundation of spiritual strength, a place where the soul finds alignment, clarity, and renewal. In the stillness, distractions fade and the deeper truths of life begin to emerge. The world is filled with noise, constant voices, endless opinions, and unceasing demands. But those who seek true strength understand that power is not found in noise. It is cultivated in quietness. The greatest revelations, the deepest wisdom, and the most profound encounters often happen in silence, where the mind and spirit are free from external influences. Spiritual strength is not just about what is spoken or expressed. It is about what is built within. Silence creates a space where faith is strengthened, where endurance is tested, and where trust is developed. When speech is unnecessary, when noise is stripped away, the spirit learns to rely on something deeper than words. It begins to sense direction beyond logic, to hear answers that are not spoken, and to find peace that cannot be explained. The stillness refines the soul, making it resilient, unwavering, and deeply connected to purpose. Silence also teaches surrender. There are moments in life when speaking, arguing, or striving will not change the outcome, but waiting in quiet trust will. It is in silence that patience is strengthened, where the restless heart finds stability, and where one learns that not every battle is won by noise. Some victories, the ability to be silent in uncertainty, is a mark of true spiritual maturity, for it reveals a trust that does not waver in the absence of immediate answers. There is power in silence that no amount of words can replicate. Those who cultivate it develop an inner strength that cannot be shaken by circumstances. They learn to stand firm without being loud, to find direction without needing constant reassurance, and to walk in confidence even when the path is unclear. Silence does not weaken the spirit, it fortifies it. It is not an absence of power, but the refinement of it shaping those who embrace it into individuals of wisdom, resilience, and unshakable faith. Silence is often misunderstood as ignorance, as if not speaking means not knowing. But true wisdom understands that silence is not a lack of knowledge, it is a strategic choice. Many believe that speaking constantly proves intelligence, yet the greatest minds have always known when to withhold words. Silence is not the absence of thought, it is the presence of control. It is the ability to observe, to analyze, and to understand without the need for immediate expression. A person who remains silent in a discussion is not always uninformed. They may simply be weighing their words, processing information, or allowing others to reveal more than they intend. Those who talk excessively often expose their weaknesses, while those who remain silent hold their strength. Silence creates an aura of depth, making others uncertain of what you know and where you stand. This uncertainty forces them to be more careful, to second guess their assumptions, and to reveal their own thoughts more openly. Silence also prevents unnecessary conflict. Many arguments escalate not because of the truth, but because of the need to respond. The one who remains silent in the face of provocation is not ignorant but wise, for they understand that not every battle is worth fighting, and not every statement requires a response. By choosing silence over reaction, they maintain their power rather than giving it away to emotion. There is a time to speak, but there's also a time to be silent. The person who knows the difference possesses true intelligence. They do not waste words proving themselves, because their actions and presence speak louder than anything they could say. Silence is not weakness, nor is it a sign of uncertainty. It is the mark of someone who knows that knowledge is most powerful when it is held until the right moment to use it. Speech that is controlled is speech that carries weight. Words that are measured, intentional, and wisely chosen have far more impact than a flood of unchecked talking. Many people believe that speaking more makes them more persuasive, but true influence comes from knowing what to say, when to say it, and how to say it. Those who control their speech do not waste words. They ensure that every word serves a purpose. Controlled speech commands attention. When someone who rarely speaks finally chooses to, people listen. Their words are valued because they are not given carelessly. Those who speak too often, too quickly, or without thought eventually lose credibility. Their voices become background noise, easily ignored. But those who discipline their speech create an aura of wisdom. They do not need to raise their voice to be heard. Their silence before speaking gives their words authority. Influence is not just about speaking, it is about impact. A single well-placed sentence can do more than an hour of uncontrolled talking. Leaders, negotiators, and great thinkers understand this principle. They do not respond to every comment. They do not reveal everything they know. And they do not feel pressure to speak at every opportunity. Instead, they observe, process, and then release words with precision, ensuring maximum effect. Controlled speech also avoids unnecessary conflict. Many arguments arise not because of truth, but because of reckless words spoken in haste. Those who master their tongue avoid regret misunderstandings, and emotional outbursts. They recognize that not everything requires a response, and that silence, when used wisely, is often more powerful than words. People trust and respect those who speak with discipline. Their words are seen as valuable, their presence is felt without excess talking, and their influence is undeniable. To control speech is to master influence. It is not about speaking less, it is about speaking with purpose, ensuring that every word spoken is worth listening to. Great minds understand that silence is not emptiness, but a tool of mastery. They know that wisdom is not proven by the number of words spoken, but by the ability to withhold speech until the right moment. Silence is the foundation upon which deep thought, strategic action, and true influence are built. Those who master it do not speak merely to be heard. They speak only when their words carry weight. Silence allows the mind to observe what others miss. While most people are eager to fill every moment with noise, the wise remain still, absorbing information, analyzing patterns, and understanding situations before making a move. This ability to wait, to listen, and to remain unshaken by the rush of conversation gives them an advantage in every interaction. They do not reveal their thoughts prematurely, nor do they waste energy on unnecessary words. Instead, they let others speak, watching as they expose their intentions, weaknesses, and desires. Resisting the urge to speak too soon is a sign of discipline. It is easy to react, to argue, to defend, or to seek attention through words. But great minds understand that silence is often more powerful than a response. It unsettles opponents, demands respect, and creates an air of authority. In negotiations, in leadership, and in personal relationships, those who can hold their silence at crucial moments always have the upper hand. Silence is also the breeding ground of creativity and innovation. The greatest ideas are not born in noise, but in stillness. When the mind is free from distractions, it can connect thoughts in ways that others cannot. Silence creates space for deep thinking, for processing complex ideas, and for developing solutions that go beyond the surface level. The most groundbreaking discoveries, the most revolutionary insights, and the most profound philosophies have all emerged from minds that understood the power of solitude and quiet reflection. To master silence is to master self-retreat. It is the ability to remain composed under pressure, to withhold unnecessary words, and to use speech as a precise instrument rather than a careless outpouring. Those who have achieved greatness have done so not by speaking the most, but by knowing when to speak and when to remain silent. Their presence alone carries influence, not because of what they say, but because of the depth of thought behind the words they choose to share. Anticipation is the ability to see beyond the present moment, to recognize patterns, and to prepare before others even realize a shift is coming. It is a force that separates those who react from those who lead. Those who master anticipation do not wait for circumstances to dictate their actions. They move ahead of time, positioning themselves strategically so that when the moment arrives, they are ready. The greatest minds, the most successful leaders, and the most influential individuals have always understood the power of anticipation. They do not merely respond to events, they predict them. They observe, they analyze, and they prepare in silence, while others remain distracted by the present. This foresight gives them an undeniable advantage, allowing them to act with precision rather than desperation. They do not chase opportunities at the last moment. They prepare for them long before they appear. Anticipation creates confidence. When a person is prepared, they do not fear change or uncertainty. They do not scramble when challenges arise because they have already seen them coming. The ability to anticipate turns obstacles into stepping stones and crises into opportunities. It allows for calm decision-making while others react in panic. Those who develop this skill are never caught off guard because they have already positioned themselves mentally, emotionally, and strategically for what is ahead. Nature itself moves by anticipation. The eagle does not wait until it is hungry to search for food. It watches, it waits, and it strikes at the perfect moment. The wise farmer does not wait for the rain to plant. He prepares the soil in advance. The seasons do not ask permission to change. They shift according to a pattern, always moving forward in anticipation of what must come next. Life rewards those who align themselves with this principle, those who do not wait passively but act intentionally before the moment of need arrives. Anticipation is not anxiety. It is awareness. It's not fear, it is foresight. It is the ability to remain ahead, to see beyond the now, and to be prepared when the rest of the world is still reacting. Those who embrace this power walk with an undeniable presence, knowing that success is not about luck, but about preparation meeting the right moment. Presence is more than just being physically in a space. It is the ability to command attention, exude confidence, and make an impact without unnecessary words or actions. It is an art, a mastery of self-awareness and intentionality that allows a person to move through life with purpose. True presence is not loud, nor is it forceful. It is a quiet strength that demands respect without the need for demand. Those who understand the art of presence know that energy speaks before words do. The way a person carries themselves, the way they listen, the way they remain composed in any environment. All of these things create an atmosphere that others respond to. Some people walk into a room and their presence shifts the dynamic without them having to say a single word. They do not compete for attention. They become the focal point naturally because they embody a sense of certainty and control. Presence is not about trying to be noticed. It is about being undeniable. It is built through deep self-awareness, through understanding one's own value, and through the ability to remain fully engaged in the moment. Those who lack presence are either too distracted by their own thoughts, too preoccupied with seeking approval, or too unaware of the energy they bring into a space. But those who have mastered presence understand that stillness, focus, and intentionality are more powerful than any outward display of dominance. The art of presence is also about deep listening. People with true presence do not rush to speak, nor do they feel the need to fill silence with empty words. They listen intently, making others feel heard and understood. This creates a magnetic effect. People are drawn to those who give them their full attention because it is rare in a world filled with constant distractions. Presence is about being fully where you are, not mentally elsewhere, and not waiting for the next opportunity to speak. Great leaders, thinkers, and influencers all possess an undeniable presence. They do not beg for attention, they command it. They do not waste words, they use them with precision. They do not seek approval, they carry themselves with assurance. The art of presence is a mastery of self, a deep understanding of one's own worth, and the ability to move through life with the kind of confidence that speaks louder than words. Presence is not about proving yourself to the world. It is about knowing yourself so deeply that the world cannot ignore you. It is about mastering silence, controlling speech, anticipating moments, and standing firm in your identity. Those who cultivate presence do not chase attention. They attract it. They do not fight to be heard. They speak when it matters. They do not waver in uncertainty. They move with purpose. The most powerful individuals are not always the loudest, nor are they the most visible. They are the ones who understand that true influence comes not from demanding recognition, but from embodying strength, wisdom, and self-mastery. They know that silence is a tool, that controlled speech is power, that anticipation shapes destiny, and that presence is the difference between being overlooked and being unforgettable. If you want to command respect, if you want to move with authority, if you want to leave an impact that lasts beyond your words, master the art of presence. Walk into every room with a confidence that you do not need to prove anything to anyone. Let your actions, your discipline, and your very being speak louder than anything you could ever say. The world follows those who know who they are. Be that person. Thank you.